Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video we have covered up getting all the courses and posting a new course, right? And we saw that our API is perfectly working. We tested by using Swagger. I hope for all of you also it is working fine. Now today we are going to do the rest of the things. So the first thing is to get a particular object from the database using the course ID. Then we will see the update operation and we will see the delete operation. So these are some of the very basic operations that we are going to do. So let's complete these basic operations in this video, and from the next one we are going to focus on more advanced stuff that we need to cover up, right? So let's begin with this. Before moving on, if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like the content and want to get more such videos. So let's begin our by implementing the first thing, that is get course. So here we have we can directly use this dot course repository dot find by id, okay, and we just have to pass our course id. Now this will give an optional, so we have option to either we will get the record, and in case we don't get a record we will say or else, and we will throw. So we will throw an exception. So for now I will throw an exception, that is a new runtime exception, and I will say no course found with course ID, and you can provide the name of the ID. So we will say course ID, okay. Let's minimize here and let's do it like this, right? It looks perfectly fine, and this thing will return a course object, and we can return this course simply. Now coming to the update, when we are going to update any particular detail of our course, then first we have to check that for which course we have to update. So we need an course ID to update. So course ID is given here to us, but we have to check whether this ID is valid or not. So the same method that we have used above, we will use it. So I will just copy and paste it here. So this method will be used it. Okay, it is saying course. Okay, I'll make it for now course 1. Okay, now in case the course is present, we want to update the things, and whatever we want to update is present in this object that is coming from user side, right? So how we update that? First we will create a new object of it. So we will say course 2, or we will say updated course. So we will say new and course. Now since course is a record, as we have seen, if you go here, so it is important that you have to mention all these things, right? So first thing is course ID. So course ID is already given to us, so we will use that course ID only. The second thing is we will say course dot course name, right? Then we will say course dot instructor. Okay, you just need to see in which order it is given. So in that same order you have to also give. So first course name, then instructor, then fee, then duration, and then is course life. So third will be course dot course fee, then course dot duration, and then course dot is course life. So let's format it out. So this is our object that we have created for the course that we want to send to the database. So now simply you have to call this dot course repository dot save method and just pass this updated course, because this gives a course object. So rather than just extracting a variable from it, we will put it in return statement. So that's how we have updated our course object also. So the implementation of the delete is very simple. First we need to check that whether this course ID is valid. So again we will copy this thing here, we'll put it here, and then we will then call course repository, and then we will say delete, and we will pass the course. Now this particular thing, if you see here, it has the return type of void. So in this case we have to, that's why we have explicitly said that we are mentioning a string as a return type. So we will say course with course ID deleted successfully. So here we have to give the message on our own. So this part is done. Now let's come to controller. So we will come to controller. Now in the same format that we have applied here, we will do the same things. So I'll just copy paste this thing. I've copy pasted this thing, and then I will say get mapping. Here I will just pass course ID, and below it public response entity. We need a course, a single course, and we will say get course. Okay, here we will just say path variable, and it is of the name course ID. Remember that this path variable here and this variable here should be same. So these both variables should be same. Now we just need to return. So we will return response entity dot okay. We will just call this dot course service dot get course, and we will pass the course ID. Simple. It's not much that complicated also, right? Here we can say get one course. Get one course. We will get course by given ID or course with given ID, and this will be same to same, right? Here also no changes. One change will be there. It will be courses.class. Okay. This same thing that we mentioned here in the add one also. Next thing, again we'll copy paste this thing, and let's put it over here again at put mapping. So this is for update. In update we have to again pass a course ID. So course ID, and we have to write public response entity. We need a course object back again, and we will say update course, and here we will take path variable as string course ID, and in request body we will be taking course. Simply we will return response entity dot okay. This dot course service dot update course will pass course ID first and then course. Here we can change it. So we can say update course by ID. We will say we will update course with given ID, and I will make it put. As simple as that. And again final time for delete mapping, we will copy it, and we will say at delete mapping we again just need to pass course ID. We will say public response entity, and then we are going to return a string, right? Because our method returns a string. So we will just say delete course. Simply we will take path variable in a string, so string course ID, and simply we will call the method. So we will say response entity dot okay, this dot course service dot delete and course ID, and we will change here also delete course by ID. We will delete course with given ID, and here delete, and here we will change to string dot class. So this was a very easier implementation of all the CRUD operations that we have seen here. So first operation was adding a course to a database, second was getting all courses from database, third was getting a single course, next was updating the course with given ID and the data, and finally deleting any course with the given ID. Now these things we have already seen in our backend series, which is the fundamental series if you want to get a complete knowledge of it. That's why I have gone a bit faster here, but don't worry, as we move on to the concepts that are new here and that is unique to this whole thing, I will explain everything. So don't think that this will be the speed throughout the whole series. Okay, this will not be the, and I think you have understood all the things that has been happening here. Okay. So if anything you find that a particular logic is you have not understood, you can post in comment. I'll try to reply. Okay, so this we have done. Now it's time to rerun the application and see if everything is working. Yeah, so our application started successfully. Now let's go here, let's refresh the page, and we have got all these things: get, put, delete, get, and post. Now as you are able to see that Swagger is doing a lot of boilerplate thing that we were doing in Postman. It is much easier to operate here in, it is much easier to test with Swagger rather than going for Postman. I'm not saying Postman is useless thing, but for now this is another way to do things. Okay, so let's start to test it out. So first let me open our MongoDB compass. So last time we have these two courses here, right? So let's copy its ID first. Okay, I'm copying its ID and click on try it out. Let's pass course ID and let's execute. So if we execute, we'll get the course. In case our ID is wrong, suppose I pass one add extra. So if I execute, it says the message is coming like this, and in the here also, if you go here, you will see a big stack trace. So the and our message is coming up here, right? Now we want to display this message to our user, so it should come over here. So for this thing to do, we are going to implement a centralized exception handling concept. How do we handle exceptions in our project very gracefully? Okay, so that is a part of next video. If you have seen backend series, you must have some idea of it. You can go ahead and implement it. If you don't know about exception handling in Spring Boot, then don't worry. In next video, everything will be explained from scratch. Okay, this API is working fine. Let's see if we can update our course. So I would this time take the course here. So let's do this and try it out. Let's pass the course ID here, and now we need to, in the request body, we need to pass few things. So I'm not passing here the course ID because we are if you see here, we are passing a course ID automatically here, so no need to pass it in from Swagger. We don't need to pass. Now let's see what we can change here. It is an Angular course, right? So let it remain Angular course. Let's change it to, I'll just copy paste 2024. Okay, instructor, I will make it same to same, no change. Course price, let's increase to 4,000. Duration was 2 months, I'll increase to 3 months, and is course live was false, so I am changing it to true. Okay, so these are some of the changes that I want to do. Now I've passed the ID and the data, so let's execute it. So when I execute, you can see this is the updated course here. Angular course 2024, Rakesh Mehta. Price has changed from 3,000 to 4,000, and duration has changed from 2 months to 3 months, and the course is now live. If you see the old data here, it is different, right? Now if I refresh over here, the changes are visible. So we have successfully made the changes. Now as regard to changing or deleting, so let's copy this ID only. Let's go to delete, try it out. Let's pass this course and let's execute. If we execute, we can see that course with course ID this. Now it says can't parse JSON raw result. We will handle this also. For now, let's go here and let's see if course is there or not. So this course is gone. So all our APIs are working fine. Now the only thing here why this is not working perfectly means in the JSON format, rather than instead of using string, you can use here map. So map, you can use something like string comma string. So if you use string, we have to pass two things. Let's see. So here we will say map, okay, map dot off. We will use this static method to put our entry. So our key will be message and our value will be whatever it was earlier. So this is how we are passing it. Okay, so here is also a problem. So let's change it to map of string comma string. Okay, and we will change it to map dot class. What's the problem coming up? Okay, so we have to change here also. Just a minute here. So in interface also we have to change string comma string. This will resolve the issue of that JSON thing. Okay, if I rerun the application now, let me see if everything is resolved. Yeah, perfectly resolved. So now if I run the application, let's first add a course, then we'll try to delete it. So let's add a course. We'll not pass course ID, we'll just pass course name. So we are passing Angular course 2024 Rakesh Mehta 4000 3 months and true. So this is a very simple thing that we have already seen. So we are adding this course. So if we execute it, we have got this course here. As you can see in the database also, it is now reflected, right? Now let's perform the operation of deletion on this. So let me copy this ID. Let's copy it. Let's go to delete. First, let's refresh it also. Now try it out. Let's pass the course ID here. And now let's execute. So if we execute, you can see response body is coming this. So it is in the JSON format. Earlier it was saying it is not in proper JSON format. So now we have resolved it. So I hope you have understood the concepts and you have seen and this logic wrote in implementation and the controllers. Please ask any doubt you have in the comment section. Like the video if you like the content and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I will see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.